Pamela Pupkin, and you're about to do Pamela Pupkin's Halloween workout. Woo! This is Alan. All right, come on. Shake off the Skittles, shake off the Reese's, shake off those candy corns. Now ride the witch's broom. Ride the witch's broom. Ride the witch's broom. Ride the witch's broom. Squash Satan, kick him in the crotch. Squash Satan, kick him in the crotch. Squash Satan, kick him in the crotch. Kick that Satan in the crotch. Zombies to the left. Zombies to the right. Zombies to the left. Zombies to the right. Break it down. I'm a scarecrow doing the robot. Break it down. I'm a scarecrow doing the robot.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Monday, October 31st, 2022. Happy Halloween. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Bellis.
Yes, happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween, Tass. Next to him, it's Meat Man, Trey Kerby.
Heyo.
Hey-yo. TK in Halloween costume, and over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Meat Man or Muscle Man, which one do you prefer?
Meatball, actually. But for today's show, Eric Musselman, please.
Okay. I was going to say Meat Man was my favorite Mega Man 2 character. Always loved using him in that game. Shout out to the Stream Team for joining us live right now on YouTube. And if you're listening, yeah, Scream Team, that's good. Very good for Halloween. If you're listening to the podcast, you may want to come check out today's show on YouTube to see what Trey Kerby is dressed as. Please subscribe, like, comment, share that show. Get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. Send in your questions and comments always to nodunks@theathletic.com. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at No Dunks Inc. And if you haven't already, grab yourself an Athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks so they know that we sent you. No Halloween costume for yourself there, Tassie. I thought you might have one as well, because you guys got the kids. You're going out like this, Trey?
Absolutely, I'm going out like this.
I don't like looking at you.
Oh, yeah, I assume my kids are going to be pretty upset tonight. They think it's funny around the house, but I don't know about when we're around other 6 to 8-year-olds. I sent this to Laura as a joke. I was like, look at this hilarious thing I found. She was going to order herself bones and me muscles. What a cute couple's costume.
Good.
Didn't have her size and bones, so I'm just walking around like bacon out there tonight. I'm going to go vote early today wearing this, actually. That's going to be awesome.
What about you? What do you got? Anything stored up?
No, I got out of it this year. Hashtag blessed. I feel so great not having to do it. I've done it for several years in a row. And this year, the kids were so into their costumes, they didn't care about us. So it was great.
Nice.
Oh, okay, okay.
We've already done a Halloween trick-or-treat thing in our neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Halloween is over for us. God, it feels so good. It's in the past, man. It feels great.
It's one of those Halloween weekends for sure.
Yeah. Halloween months. I've been at Home Depot looking at Halloween decorations for the last 6 weeks. We go every week. One of my kids is like, I want to go Home Depot. I want to look at the inflatables. And we end up buying some piece of crap. But anyway, I love my decorations, actually.
Good. Right.
One of the best houses in the neighborhood, guys.
Ooh,
People love it.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, what's the main feature on your lawn?
Chucky.
Really?
Chucky always wins.
Wow. That's Chucky is creepy.
Yeah, very.
Sure. Okay. We got lots to get to here on today's podcast. We got winners and losers of the NBA weekend. But we start with another wedgie Friday night. And guess where it happened? Yeah, in Portland. Our guy, Lamar Hurd, once again on the call.
Here's Simons the other way, bounces ahead to Nurkic, rumbles into the lane, and ball wedged on the glass.
We have a wedgie.
You had to wait until they officially called a jump ball.
It's got to be official.
Yeah.
And we have official word from Command Center. We have a wedgie.
Command Center.
Şengün chasing it down. Yeah. Registering another one on wedgietracker.com.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes.
On the wedge radar. Yes.
Our fourth wedgie of the season, our back-to-back defensive wedgie from a block, Şengün there on Nurk and Calabro and Hurd, having some fun on the broadcast. You'll love to see it. So, not bad. 4 to start the season.
How many have the Blazers had over the last year plus.
Well, you can go check
Almost,
wedgietracker.com.
That's right.
And it's by far the most, I believe. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Winners of the NBA weekend, Meat Man, Muscle Man, TK, Unzipping.
Mask off.
Business.
Yeah, why don't you get us started?
I thought I'd have a lot more visibility. It has eyes on it. You can't see through it at all. But it was a monster mash weekend for the Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell. They beat the Celtics in OT in Boston on Friday. A huge win. 41 points from Mitchell, 41 from Karis LeVert, and it felt like 41 highlights from Donovan Mitchell in this one. He followed that up by beating the Knicks at home on Sunday. 38 points, 12 assists, 8 threes for Donovan Mitchell. A single point for Karis LeVert. I do like that. Followed
It is great.
41 and 38 for Mitchell, 41 and 1 for LeVert.
Chef's
But
kiss.
8 threes from Kevin Love as well, and another 6 threes from Dean Wade. 22 threes between Mitchell, Love, and Wade. That'll get the job done.
Yeah.
The Cavs now are 5-1 after 2 weeks. 6th in offense, 2nd in defense. It's them, the Suns, and the Blazers, who are in the top 10 on both sides of the ball right now. If you do that for a whole season, you're a championship contender. We shall see as time goes on. They've got an MVP candidate, no doubt, right now in Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
32 a game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. He's at 50% from the field, 45 from 3, 85 at the line. He's the first guy since Wilt Chamberlain to go for 30-plus points in 5 out of 6 of games with his new team. That's the most cherry-picked
Oh, my
stat.
God. You hate those type of stats. What are you doing?
I hate those type of stats unless the name is Wilt Chamberlain on there because, I mean, Wilt Chamberlain puts up the most ridiculous stats in NBA history. So if you get on a board with him and you're the only guy on a board, I'll give you credit for that. And, oh, yeah, let's not forget that the Cavs will eventually get Darius Garland back at some point. They've basically been doing this the whole season, missing their all-star guard from last year. So you said maybe the Pelicans are last season's Grizzlies. It also could be the Cavs.
Yeah.
They were kind of last season's Grizzlies as well, but they're even more last season's Grizzlies. It's still early days, but I kind of underrated how quickly they would be able to click and figure things out together. They look awesome right now.
It is wild how quickly they've just integrated a superstar into their lineup. And Donovan Mitchell is a superstar right now. We throw that word around, but, man, he has just rebounded like no one really expected from his Utah days to go back to that guy in the playoffs that looked like he could carry your team. And so much kudos to that Cavs organization for allowing a guy to come into a good situation, even though they weren't a playoff team last year. They won 44 games to just be a superstar. How many organizations and cultures could do that? I don't think there's many at all. They've added a superstar to an incredible culture. I think we forget, as you said, Darius Garland, he could be the most sort of peeved about that, the most, salty about the emergence of another guard just sort of taking over. He's not there, obviously, but an incredible just guy, locker room presence. That the way he is attacking the rim, every single time he gets into the lane, it's violent. He is a new player in comparison to last year with the Utah Jazz. That Cavs-Celtics game was just crazy watching it live. The Celtics definitely missed Robert Williams in that instance to be able to deal with a relentless guy in Donovan Mitchell. He looks like a new player attacking the rim. Absolutely chef's kiss that Karis LeVert went from 40-plus in one game to 1 point the other game because that's awesome. Karis LeVert. Unfortunately, he's great one game, and sometimes he doesn't show up. But the fact that the Cavs have added a superstar to their mix when they have 2 other All-Stars plus a future All-Star and Evan Mobley, it's amazing. They paid a lot for Donovan Mitchell. They paid so much in the offseason, and they are getting every penny's worth right now.
Yeah. You're going to see the result, the score from the Knicks game on Sunday with the Cavs, and you're going to think it was an absolute blowout. 121 to 108 was the final score, but it was so far from that. The Knicks were up, halfway through the fourth quarter, if I remember correctly. It was a tight game. It was a really entertaining game. I know Fred Katz on the Boulevard was tweeting left and right about it. I was enjoying it. Brunson was hitting big shots. They were sticking around. And then just this explosion from Mitchell and Love. I think they combined for like a 20-0 run where they just could not miss threes. Dean Wade hitting a ton, like Trey said, and it got us to this end result. But the Knicks put up a fight for like a good 42 minutes, if you want to call it that, and it was just an onslaught from the Cavs at the end, which was pretty special.
It was a Cavalanche.
There you go. That's the word I want.
Yeah, Worldwide Wob threw
time.
that out there.
Yeah,
so that they did that a lot last year, where the fourth quarters in that arena in Cleveland just kind of came down on the other team. And the good vibes were wild last year. You know, smiles left and right, guys in the starting lineup, guys in the bench, Kevin Love coming off the bench, and that's carried over into this season. And so they knew what kind of locker room they had when they traded for Donovan Mitchell. It was only a couple months ago. The entire basketball world was pretty down on Donovan Mitchell as a player, as a leader, and you put him into this situation, and man, there's not many more players that I love watching go into the lane like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's a smaller guy. He's been in the dunk contest before. He won that thing. It's not that memorable of a dunk contest, but it's violent. The way he's going at the rim, it's fun, man. It is fun just watching him, and he takes over. So him and Garland are going to have to figure it out a little bit, but Garland is, I think, pretty comfortable in allowing Donovan Mitchell to be that number one guy. So 50 wins on deck for this team. I don't think there's any doubt.
Do you think, and I heard them arguing or debating this on the Athletic NBA Show podcasts, are they contenders? Like, is this a legit team that could challenge for at least a run to the NBA Finals? Are you putting them there with the Bucks and a team like the Celtics that they, just beat, squeaked out a win? Or is that maybe one step too far this early in the season? What do you think, Trey?
I would think more so next season than this season. It would have to be good matchups in the playoffs for the Cavs, but I could see them making a run to the conference finals, similar to a Hawks team or to like the Mavericks last year. Yeah. I think they're going to have a tough time when they're running up against big wings in a 7-game series. But during 82 games, during the regular season, they could easily win 50.
Yeah, they've got great little components to deal with Giannis in their front line. So that bodes well for going into the finals with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley if they can. If they can overcome that. I think Evan Mobley on the offensive end, his growth is going to be key to this because Jared Allen, they can't just throw the ball to, but they can throw the ball to Mitchell, Garland. And if there's one more guy, I think if Evan Mobley can be that guy, and I said it last Friday, I said to watch out these next few months. They are giving him the ball and just allowing him to go one-on-one because he's that freaking talented. So his growth, I think, takes them from conference finalist, which they could achieve, to NBA finalist. Mm-hmm. I think it's sort of on him, but they bet on this future for, like, as you said, they could do it next year. They've bet on this future for 5 years coming. Yep. They're so freaking young. This is great. This is a really, really fun team that people should get behind.
All right, Cavaliers, big winner of the weekend. Tess, who do you have next?
Well, just to piggyback on that, I think anyone who sells dunk posters or
they still make
those?
They
make them. Yeah, there's purveyors of dunk posters. What are kids gonna have on their walls? Just NFTs? I mean, you still need posters.
Painted murals.
Yeah, if you're selling posters, you're selling NFTs, you're selling desktop backgrounds for your computer. This was a good weekend.
Okay.
There were great dunks out there. Let's go. Let's start with Donovan Mitchell just to piggyback there because he had a monster on Luke Kornet of the Celtics on Friday night. This is a foot difference between these two humans, and he was able to just go over Luke Kornet. I think we have a different angle, JD, if you're watching on YouTube. This one's more poster-like with Evan Mobley in the background as he's on the rise. I think this one is better because Luke Kornet is over the rim, and Donovan Mitchell is going to get up over Luke Kornet. Donovan Mitchell does have a little bit more hang time than
just a
Luke Kornet. So anyway,
that's like a classic Donovan Mitchell dunk pose too.
Yeah.
His legs do that.
Oh yeah.
Looks like he's running upstairs.
Yes, he is hanging in the air. This is a fun time if you're watching Cavs games. But in that same game, another great poster from the other side, Jaylen Brown on Donovan Mitchell. Yep. This one was violent, and he added the caption, "Gonna get this framed." Because he is that one was wild. He had Kevin Love in the background there, and then Donovan Mitchell posted this photo on Instagram of it's Jaylen Brown kind of peering over a wall with the caption, "Bra won't leave me alone," because I think this is from the past. They appear to be friends, Donovan Mitchell and Jaylen Brown. But yeah, Jaylen Brown just absolutely gave it to him.
That was late in the game,
that
too.
Photo. Yeah,
right?
it was an incredible. It was a 2-on-1 fast break dunk that they executed absolutely perfectly. And yeah, at least Donovan Mitchell went to go block that thing, but Jaylen Brown just gave it to him. So posters, I was just thinking, man, posters are coming back in that one game. And then we had Onyeka Okongwu, who I grabbed this still. It's not a beautiful still. If you're gonna,
I can't print a poster.
No,
of
you
that.
can't. You're right. There's gonna be some
so
editing.
blurry.
Yeah, one of the Photoshop boys or Jerome's gonna have to get on this to create. Just Photoshop the ball in there. It's just a little blurry. But anyways. It looks like Onyeka is riding Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had a putback dunk over his Nigerian brother there. So that was a very cool moment, I thought, watching that live. Onyeka's got some big dunks in his short NBA career. I could have thrown in a Shaedon Sharpe, his first career start. That guy's
future dunk
19.
contest winner.
Yeah, buying it. I'm buying it.
Yep.
First career start for the Blazers, had 3 big dunks on Friday night. So it's a good time for high flyers in the league, nifters, NFTers, as some call them, poster sellers, whoever. It was a really good weekend for high flyers.
For sure. I mean, Mitchell had one in the Knicks game too. The dunk itself wasn't on anybody, and he actually just got it over the rim, but it was the way he set it up with the spin in the lane and then throwing it down.
It was beautiful.
That was huge. That was huge. All right, my winner of the weekend, I got to go with Tyrese Maxey and the 76ers in general. Trey, Frank 900-12-520 tweeted this in.
Frank did?
Yep. Sixers got to be a win of the weekend. They successfully completed the no dunks back-to-back. Friday win versus the Raptors. Saturday win versus the Bulls. Frankie numbers, you got us. You're right. They took care of the no dunks teams, Sixers did, and they needed this as they started slowly this season. But Maxey on Friday night versus the Raps, pretty special. No Embiid in the lineup, was out with a sore knee. Harden didn't do a whole lot, and it didn't matter. Sixers took care of business because Maxey couldn't miss. He had 27 points in the first half. He was a perfect 10 for 10. 10 for 10, knocking down all 7 of his threes there in the first half. And then it sort of continued in the second half. Raps were hanging around. And then when they were trying to make that last push, he said, no, not tonight. He scored 10 points, Maxey did, in like a minute to put the game out of reach. So add it all up, 44 points on 15 of 20 shooting. 9 3-pointers made, 8 boards, 4 assists, a steal. He was a plus 29 in this game. And for all those people, I know some of you here at the table that were picking Maxey as a potential MIP or even a first-time All-Star, you're looking like a strong selection there in the preseason because this guy's unbelievable. And he owns the Raptors. Fred VanVleet is honestly one of the better defenders at the point guard position in this league. It doesn't matter. Maxey destroys them every time they play. To the point where, you got guys like Will Liu with the Raptors show saying, Nurse, try something else. He can't stop him. Put somebody longer on him. Maybe throw something different at him because Maxey just gets whatever he wants against this team. But that was big. Any thoughts there on the Friday night victory or Maxey starting the season the way he has?
Well, I didn't pick him as most improved like Trey did. I was already heavy on the Sixers' number 1 seed, Joel Embiid MVP, so I slowed down with my MIP call. But how good could this guy be when he is given the leash? I just worry for the Philadelphia 76ers because the similar question was brought up with Ben Simmons a couple of years ago when Joel Embiid was out of the lineup. Ben Simmons had a 40-plus point game, and he was allowed to just go into the lane and do what he wants. And they haven't been able to get the most out of Tyrese Maxey because of the way they play. They play one of the slowest paces in years in the NBA. And I just wonder if Tyrese Maxey gets that lane and he's able to do what he wants and able to handle the ball a little bit more, and Harden gives him a little bit more control, how good he could be. They just haven't found the balance quite yet because this guy has some great peaks, but he also has some valleys because he's just not part of the game. It doesn't feel like. So they're not.
But I think he's done an incredible job of trying
great.
to find his role with this team that has him beat and then even harder now.
23 per game on 50% shooting. Yeah. And I'm with you. They're not even using him to the Maxey that they could be. He's incredible, and they need his speed because of how slowly they play. So there are definitely some balance issues, I think, with the Sixers. With Embiid is the number 1 guy, you would think, but Harden is back to almost Houston sort of Harden, so he wants more of the possessions, and Maxey's getting better and better every single year, so he wants more possessions. It'll take a little bit of time to figure it out. Not totally confident Doc Rivers is the guy to map out the layout of the court, but I've been encouraged with Maxey's start, even if he hasn't totally caught the league by fire outside of this Raptors game.
Yeah, and then after the Raptors game on Friday night, they go to Chicago, take on your Bulls, and for the 12th consecutive time, that caught me by surprise, the Sixers beat the Bulls. Embiid, he came back and had 25 and hit a big three that he was open on late. That was the one to push them over the edge. And Sixers improved to 3-4. I don't know if you have any thoughts on the Bulls game there.
Embiid has never lost to the Bulls. So
Never?
I was not surprised to see that. But, Giannis had never lost to the Bulls until the playoffs last year. So save it for April.
There you go.
Yeah. And I'm glad we'll skim over that. We'll skim over Fred VanVleet also. He was 0 for 11 in that game against Tyrese Maxey. That was an odd one.
I thought we were going to get the VanVleet is suffering from injury X after that game. But we didn't. We didn't. He just got his ass handed to him. Had a really off night there. Trey, let's keep it going. Whole other round. Who you got for a win of the weekend?
Couple nice wins for the San Antonio Spurs this weekend. What's this say here? They beat the Chicago Bulls on Friday, unfortunately. A fun fourth quarter in this game. The Bulls right now just can't win on the weekends. That's the problem. They beat Chicago 129 to 124. Keep that number in your brain. Spurs also held on to beat the Timberwolves on Sunday night, 107 to 98. The first time this season that Minnesota's been under 100 points. I do think, however, that the Timberwolves win is the outlier for San Antonio here because they've been winning with offense and pace. 10th in the league right now in offense, the Spurs are. They're playing at the third fastest pace in the league, and they're shooting a ton of threes. 6th in makes in the early days of the season right now. Keldon Johnson has really been the man for this team. He was great all weekend. 33 against the Bulls. He hit 6 threes, 25 against the Timberwolves, another 5 threes. He's at 24 per game on 45 from the field, 43 from 3. He looks skinnier. Like, they called him big body Keldon Johnson for the past couple of seasons. He had a 20 rebound game, but they said he lost 20 pounds coming into this season. His face looks way different. He looks quicker, but he's still a really strong guy. Kind of flings the ball when he shoots it. He's got a little bit of a catapult release, but it's money right now. So great weekend for the Spurs on the court, considering they had a bunch of off-court drama with Josh Primo being released for being a creep.
Yeah. I mean, and they acted quickly by all accounts, the Spurs did. Primo was the 12th pick, for those that don't know. Last year's draft, 2021. He's 19 years old, and Spurs waived him surprisingly on Friday. Caught everybody by surprise. It was like, what? ESPN citing sources reported that Primo had multiple alleged instances of him exposing himself to women. San Antonio Express News also confirmed that. Primo had a statement soon after that saying he's seeking help to deal with previous trauma that he suffered and this. So Spurs moving very quickly here, Tass, and rightfully so. If these multiple alleged instances are true, and I would assume they sort of are here.
Yes, we hadn't heard a thing about them.
No.
Prior to Josh Primo being released and, just entering his second season, it seemed obviously very odd, took everyone by surprise. They just gave him his player option as well, exercised that player option for his 4th year, and have moved on very quickly. So hopefully Josh Primo, as the Spurs said in their release, gets the help that he needs and corrects his life real quick. That was unbelievable. I thought in a different way, what was also unbelievable is the Wolves and Spurs playing 3 times in a week.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I was like, they had a back-to-back, and now they're playing again on Sunday, and the Spurs beat them 2 out of 3 times in the same way, where they just weren't all that intense defensively. And we talked about it last week, and the same thing just happened again on Sunday. And Karl Anthony Towns after the game saying, we just weren't strong, weren't energetic, didn't have the defensive intensity. Chris Finch saying it was sort of our on-the-ball defense, which, people, if you want a quick solution or quick reason why that's happened, Patrick Beverley is gone, and maybe they don't have that defense intensity on the perimeter anymore. They don't have the intensity throughout the lineup, even though people thought Rudy Gobert would correct that. So, they're a team that's fine overall in terms of their record, but when you watch them, it isn't fun to watch. And it was interesting to see at the end of the game, Greg Popovich go up to Karl Anthony Towns and have a pretty long powwow. He got into Karl Anthony Towns' ear, and when Greg speaks, I'm sure Karl Anthony Towns listens. Karl Anthony Towns thought he was going for a quick handshake and out, but Greg pulled him in.
Let me give you some advice.
Listen, son, you have the ability, you have all the God-given tools. And whatever else he said. I shouldn't correct that. I sound like an analyst. I sound like Mark Jackson saying, and he said when he went up for his 3-point shot, like I'm putting the words in Pop's mouth, but I assume it was, hey, Karl, let's get this together. You have it all. So, the Wolves' start has been, even though the record, again, is
They beat
good.
the Lakers, luckily, on, what was that, Friday night?
Yeah, they squeezed one out.
Yeah.
And that didn't look all that great either. But Anthony Davis wasn't in that game. So we won't harp on the Wolves too much. We did that last week, but not a great start for them.
Who else you got then for a winner of the weekend?
Let's go
team?
another small market team here with the Oklahoma City Thunder that people weren't expecting a lot of this season, sort of like the San Antonio Spurs. They're 3-3, baby. They have won 3 straight, and they are not a pushover. Anytime you see them on the basketball floor, they're going to defend. They have the 6th best defense, and that comeback that they had this weekend against the Mavericks Saturday, it was all about defense. This is a pretty unique team because they can't shoot, but they're still winning. This is a stat here because their defense is getting it done. I like this stat. Last season, there were 72 games where a team shot 20% or worse from 3. Those teams were 8-64 in those games. Can't shoot the 3. Everybody's talking about the math these days. Well, you lose games. 8-64. OKC is 2-0 in games like that so far this season. Just bad shooting.
Where they shot less than 20% from 3.
And they won because they can defend. All baby cakes. Thank you on Twitter for that stat. But the final 4:14 minutes of the final 4:14 of the fourth against the Mavericks on Saturday, the Mavs were up 16, 4:14 left, and the Mavs only scored 2 points the rest of the way in the fourth quarter. Lou Dort was guarding Luka Doncic down the stretch, and then Luka was asked post-game, how about that Lou Dort, huh? And he said, well, he is one of the top 3 defenders in the game.
Wow. Get him a podcast.
Very, very good. Maybe it's Draymond Green who has a podcast that is one of the other top 3. Luka did not elaborate. He wasn't asked, I don't think. But great compliment for Lou Dort, who was guarding Luka. Also, one of the great defenders on OKC, their best player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Skeets, you might not be waiting too long for that All-Star appearance.
If they stay 500, you can lock him in as an All-Star.
My God.
It's just going to be the record because he's on fire right now.
This guy is fun. He in that game, he was 38 points, 6 boards, 9 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. 8 for 8 from the line. He hasn't missed a free throw this season, and he only took 2 threes. He's Andre Miller-like. He's a little old school. He knows that he can't shoot the 3 all that well, and he's so squirmy he can get wherever he wants.
He can.
So he's averaging 31 on the season, 50 and 37 in terms of his percentages, 7 assists, 2.4 steals, and 1.2 blocks. 1.2 blocks for this guy per game. So he scored between 24 and 38 in each of his 5 games. Those are fun sort of top-end guys on this team, but Sam Presti has built it up pretty well. I mean, they didn't have Josh Giddey on Saturday. Didn't matter. Isaiah Joe came in at the last 4:30.
Where did you come from?
Yeah, where did you come from? Well, he came from Philly, but he hasn't played a lot in this league. He hadn't played the entire game. 4:30 left in the fourth quarter. Hey, Isaiah, get in there. He scored 7 in the last few minutes of regulation, then 8 in overtime for his 15 points. Jalen Williams came back. He hadn't played since the first game of the season.
Right.
He was injured, broke that orbital bone. He's playing with a mask. Looks weird. He hates it. But he was key in the fourth. He had 13 overall. So this over-under win total projected at 23.5 for this team. Over's looking good right now.
So are the Spurs, I guess, too.
Yeah,
they're over.
no doubt.
So are the Jazz.
So are the Jazz.
Like, what is going on with these 3 teams?
Yeah.
Even the Hornets, I mean, are like... A lot of us thought, myself for sure, thought they might be the worst team in the league, and they're scrappy, pulling out some wins here.
Yeah.
So incredible start by from Shai here though, and the Thunder and the Spurs. I'm glad we're showing some love to these small market teams.
And
talked about.
We'll get to the Mavs falling apart there a little bit at the end, but at the same time, OKC's tough to play against. They are.
That's right.
They are.
Some mini winners. I'm gonna throw them at you guys. The Bucks have to continue to be a winner of the weekend because they're still undefeated. They're the only undefeated team in the league, and the Hawks put up a fight against them on Saturday night, and the night before they took care of the Knicks. So they just keep winning. They look like the best team in the league. They don't even have like their full squad here, and they're taking care of business. So the Bucks a winner of the weekend. Got to show some love to all the teams that got their first W this weekend. We're talking about the Orlando Magic. We're talking about the Sacramento Kings. Yeah,
Kings are back.
And the Los Angeles Lakers. TAS, they all get their first win, and a big part of that, last 2 games actually with the Lakers, Russell Westbrook, you've been calling for it, coming off the bench. And yesterday, there on Sunday, 18 points, 8 boards, 8 assists. And they were pumped, and they gave Darvin Ham, they poured water on Darvin Ham, sort of like a sloppy steak when you think about it. Dangerous Nights crew, call the Lakers.
I'd love to see LeBron in like that tight white shirt with the vest
Yeah,
on.
that'd be sick.
That'd be awesome.
Pouring wind, no
Sloppy
pour water on the
Sloppy
ham.
pork chops.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been great. They could have turned around and gone out in L.A. Halloween, done it all with the
Dangerous Nights crew
costumes.
for sure.
Chicken
But
spaghetti at Chickaleena.
the Lakers used to be a piece of shit, but teams can change. That's the motto. So anyway, they all got their first victory there. Anything about the Westbrook part of it all? Because you have been saying this for a while.
Doesn't he look so much happier?
He looked happy, no doubt.
I mean, he could just play like himself a little bit more. The ball's in his hands when he comes off the bench. So I think it just makes sense. And he had his most efficient night of the season, hanging out in the corners. After touching the ball, I think just getting comfortable with the ball. Then he goes to the corner, and then that three-point percentage, I think, will go up just because, he's just in the game more. You see, it happens in every NBA game. A player gets a little bit more confident. See the ball goes through, just is a little bit more comfortable, and they look like an entirely different squad after one W. They are 1-5.
Yeah,
the record
they needed it.
stinks.
Season starts now.
Yeah,
They needed it, but I don't know. The fact that they've been playing hard defensively, like this team is still all together. We'll get to another 1-5 team, after a quick break. We get to the losers of the weekend where it looks entirely different the way they play basketball.
Sure.
I know the Lakers don't have lasers and don't have shooting and don't have anyone, really to complement what Anthony Davis and LeBron James are. But at least they're playing hard.
Yeah.
Darvin has them playing hard, and the fact that they're splashing him after the game there in the locker room, that's best 1-5 team in NBA history. I'm going to say it right now.
What a take!
I don't know, but I think that's true.
They did make 13 threes.
That's what I was just going to say.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
They've been good defensively. They're playing hard defensively. They can score inside with LeBron and AD. It's just a matter of, are they going to make shots from the outside? 13 for 30, 43%. That's like a week of basketball games for the Lakers usually. So shout out to them taking it down. The best 1-5 team in NBA history. I would love to see some stats on that.
Yeah. Okay, a couple of the winners here. DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, 20,000 points. Yes, he joined that club. 50th player in NBA history to join the 20K points club. He did it on Friday night against the Spurs. And immediately after he hit a jumper, great that he did it on a jumper, Pop called for a timeout so they could celebrate it. The Spurs public address announcer informed the crowd. They gave him a standing ovation. Really nice moment.
It was cool.
Very, very classy there from Pop. Quick trivia question for you guys and everybody joining us live.
Name the 49.
No. I was going to say DeMar is the 7th active player to hit the mark of 20K. Can you name the other 6 guys in the league?
LeBron and KD.
Correct.
Steph Curry.
Correct.
James Harden.
Correct.
Nice.
And 2 more.
LaMarcus Aldridge isn't active.
No.
Melo, considered
not,
active?
not,
No.
Not calling him active.
Chris Paul.
Yep.
Nice.
One more.
Who else
You
is
gotta
old?
just run the
You
table.
literally just talked about him.
Wait, Anthony Davis?
No. Tass was just talking about him.
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
You don't think of them as a 20K point
No.
man.
Nope.
Nice.
There you go. So, yes, DeMar DeRozan joins LeBron, KD, Harden, Wes. Why'd I call him Wes?
Wes Rustbrook.
I was going to say Russ, and then I was going to say Westbrook, and I just decided to go with Wes. Curry and Chris Paul. There, that is.
Nice.
I wonder if I don't want to go there, but I'm going to go there. The Hall of Fame conversation about DeMar DeRozan. Well, he joined the even more exclusive club of 20,000 point scorers who aren't in the Hall. Your Tom Chambers, your Antoine Jameson.
We got to save that, man. We got to save that for later in the week.
Later in the week. There's just a few of those. There's just a few of those.
Yeah.
like a great
I mean,
drop
we've
question.
talked about it. Like, is the bar just going to have to go
higher.
It's going to have to go higher.
Gonna have to.
Yeah.
Final piece of news here, and a winner for Bojan Bogdanovic. Signed a 2-year, $39.1 million extension
What?
with the Pistons. For those that don't know, he arrived from the Jazz in the preseason by way of a trade. He was entering the final year of his contract here, earning $19.5 million, and he's off to an incredible start for Detroit, and they're winning some games. He's averaged 23 points. Bogdanovic has on 52.6% shooting from the floor and 51% from deep on over 7 attempts per game.
He's chucking out there.
Lets it fly, and the Pistons decide to give him the extension here.
for
Were you
him.
shocked at all by this? Because we had talked about, this might just be a slick move from Detroit to, have a potential guy that they can move at the deadline and get more back than what they gave up to get him, like maybe a pick or something like that. But
Seemed like an asset play when they got him from Utah. But
I guess
now
it could still be.
It could still, yeah.
I think the second year James Edward III for the Athletic side is partially guaranteed.
It seems like they're trying to win next year or the year after with him.
Yeah.
And he fits the bill. He's a winning player. I know he's kind of, I don't know if the word is overlooked, I guess, in the NBA, but he's a great third complementary player if, Cade can take it to the next level. He's had an incredible career. He's had to guard LeBron when he was with the Pacers. He's a guy who was drafted at the beginning of the second round and then has, after staying in Europe for a few years, has played is going to be over a decade here.
He didn't come to the league until he was like 25.
Yeah, he's old.
26, yeah.
And then, so this will pay him, if that last year is guaranteed, through the age of 36. And the guy is just a baller. He'll take on the defensive assignments. He's a tough dude, and he'll score over 20 a game efficiently.
So that's a $20 million player. In today's NBA.
So are they trying to win, or are they playing the long game? I guess they think that Cade can take that next step and he can be there for them. I guess they could trade him at any time too, because it's a tradable contract.
It's a tradable contract.
It's a fine contract for, like you're saying, a third option that can start for probably most teams if they don't have a lockdown. Like, this is our number 3 guy. This is good stuff. And Cade's turned it on a little bit. He had a really nice weekend after starting slow the first week of the season. And I certainly think that this could be traded down the line if they wanted next season. Maybe even makes it easier, saying, hey, look, you got him for another 2 years after this.
Yeah.
Also, the Pistons were set to have a ton of cap space this offseason. And even with this extension, I think they have tons of financial flexibility and wiggle room to add more free agents or to make trades, and they probably honestly were looking at like the free agent class coming up too, and were not wowed by it, especially when you consider all of the rookie extensions that we saw in Barrett, Poole, Hero, Hunter. I mean, they're off the market now, and they're thinking, I don't think we're going to do better than this, so we'll just lock him up at the price he basically is at now. And he's delivering for them too. I mean, that's the thing. It was an incredible start from his season. So there you go. Bogdanovic, winner of the weekend, getting paid a little bit more. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, losers of the weekend. Don't go anywhere.
Are you wasting money on subscriptions? 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about. I am 100% in that camp. I even set reminders on my to-do list to cancel my subscriptions, and I just ignore those reminders. It's more of a do-do list, really. It does nothing for me. If only there was a tool to cancel the subscriptions I didn't want. Well, there is. You may have heard of it. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. It tracks all of your expenses, and because of it, you will no longer waste money on subscriptions you don't even use. Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, when the actual total is closer to $200. I know that affects me. That's right, you could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions you don't even know about. Rocket Money takes care of that. Well, how does it work, Tass? Well, here you go. The app shows all of your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you still don't want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't even know you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/nodunks. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/nodunks. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/nodunks.
I can't deny it. I was legitimately thrilled when JD sent the ad rundown this week because Grammarly is back!
Oh, yeah.
Our old friend! The Classic Factory loves Grammarly because when our fall schedule fills up with activities and obligations and classics, even a small time saver can feel like a big help. Grammarly's all-in-one writing tool makes clear, concise communication easier than ever, so you can be confident and efficient writing emails, reports, presentations, and even YouTube shorts. Wasn't too long ago, Grammarly dropped me an email and said I hadn't been writing lately. Step your game up. Turns out I was inadvertently logged out. So I popped in my credentials and boom! Comprehensive spelling, grammar, and punctuation suggestions, plus instant proofreading. I love you, Grammarly. Get more time in your day with confidence in your work with Grammarly. Go to grammarly.com/nodunks to sign up for a free account. And when you're ready to upgrade to Grammarly Premium, you can get 20% off. just for being our listeners. How easy is that? That's 20% off at GRAMMARLY.com/NoDunks.
All right, back in the Classic Factory. A lot of you joining us live here on YouTube this morning. We love to see it, but we need to see some more likes. The numbers don't make sense. It doesn't add up. You tell me there's 1,000 people watching? There's like 150 likes. Come on. Let's go. Hit the like button. And let's hear all of your answers with winners of the weekend and losers of the weekend, which we now go to. And Tass, my man, oh boy, here we go. Get us started with your big loser of the NBA weekend.
Yeah, I got this Brooklyn Nets one. Let's do this one. To me, it started on the basketball floor. I was watching that game against the Indiana Pacers on Saturday, and it felt like rock bottom for this 1-5 team. I don't know what rock bottom is for this Brooklyn Nets team. We may have not gotten there yet, but the way that Kevin Durant was hanging his head was just emotionally drained. It felt like coming off the bench. This dude is just scoring 30+ per game, and they just keep on losing. It's entirely my size here, my noises here. It is exactly what's going on with the Brooklyn Nets. Like, what is going on there? They must be extremely frustrated. I don't want to play body language doctor, but I got to with Kevin Durant. He just looks like he's not into it. With
going through the motions.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he's there scoring points.
Yeah.
But I think you got to be frustrated. Comparing it to the Brooklyn or the Los Angeles Lakers situation. You've got two guys at the top of this roster, and Kyrie and Kevin Durant, who are scoring 30+ per game. They're averaging 30+ per game. What more can those guys do offensively? But their third guy, who gets paid a lot, and Ben Simmons, is just not adding enough to this team. And then their effort guys aren't efforting enough, and their defense just absolutely stinks. They got obliterated in the effort department against an Indiana Pacers team. This Brooklyn Nets team had lost 3 in a row going into this game, so you'd think the Pacers coming in, we're going to get a win. This Pacers team is not expected to do much this year, but they were out-rebounded by 19 by the Indiana Pacers, so you think, Miles Turner probably had 20 boards. No, he wasn't even playing. They just were getting killed by a bunch of guys on this roster, up and down this roster, that were trying harder than them. 13 more offensive rebounds. And look, I think the frustration, what the hell are we doing here, partly is we're hitting half of our shots. They hit 50% of their shots in this game, but still got trampled because they allowed a lot of open looks to the Pacers. They hit half their threes and allowed so many rebounds. So their number 3 guy isn't helping out enough. They're tiny, and beyond their top 2 guys, they're not getting enough on this roster. And then we go post-game. After this horrific game, they had a players-only meeting after this game, the first players-only meeting, I think, of the season. If we look around the NBA, I think so. After getting trampled by this Pacers team, and they're getting a rematch tonight, so we'll see how they respond in these 2-game baseball sets. Same thing happening tonight, Indiana in Brooklyn. But also post-game, Kyrie Irving's media session was pretty eventful. So if you don't know the backstory, Kyrie Irving tweeted his followers, informing them about a movie which demonizes the Jewish people. It's the classic tropes about an entire race of people. Conspiracy theory garbage, unfortunately. And Kyrie defended it post-game. He said, when asked about it, did I do anything illegal? Did I hurt anybody? Did I harm anybody? And as an influencer, as a person with such a big platform, the answer is absolutely yes. Even though he wants to take little pieces and parts of the movie that he tweeted about, there is a larger message in this movie, and there's tons of little bits of information which are disgusting and contribute to a lot of the anti-Semitic attacks that are happening in the U.S. They were at an all-time high in 2021. It's been happening year after year after year, especially on the heels of what happened with Kanye West recently. I mean, it's happening everywhere. People are jumping on the Kanye West bandwagon, and those messages matter from these people, regardless if Kyrie, is good-intentioned, well-intentioned or not. It's extremely sad. It shouldn't be happening. And the NBA and the Nets owner Joe Tsai released statements condemning it. Although you had Kanye West endorsing Kyrie Irving, backing him. He put up a photo of Kyrie Irving on his Instagram account saying, "Wow, he's a real one." I mean, he's a real one in terms of not knowing what the heck he's doing out there. That this is damaging. It's dangerous, and people are going to be attacked because they start to believe the crap that they are given from stars. And Kyrie since deleted the tweet, and there's that.
But he sure doubled down in this.
Yeah.
Press conference, whatever you want to call it, after the game.
Yeah. Again, he was doubling down on the parts that he believes are. Whatever, that stuff absolutely just, it doesn't matter. It's part of a bigger message from this movie and this book, which there's so much anti-Semitism in it if you read about it and try and understand it. And he's got too big a platform to just be thinking that he can just, tweet one little thing and nothing else matters. So it's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate.
I think it's just dangerous and super dishonest the way he's going about it. Maybe somebody hasn't been hurt specifically after a Kyrie Irving tweet, but people can and will be hurt being exposed to the things that he's linking to. I also think it's so dishonest where he's like, I'm such a big influence in my community. And then in the same answer, he says, I have no influence in my community. It doesn't make sense to me. He wants a reaction. And then when there's a reaction, he doesn't want to have a dialogue about it. You're exactly right. He's become the NBA's Kanye West, and you're kind of going down the wrong path when that's the guy agreeing with you. So, very disappointing from Kyrie, but it's been about 4 years of being disappointed in Kyrie and the way he has been trying to lead, or whatever you want to call it, since he's got to the Nets.
Do you think the Nets or the league will do anything else besides statements? And let's be honest, the NBA said nothing in their statement. Very toothless. I guess Josiah and the Nets said a little bit more in naming, him. Will there be more consequences to pushing very dangerous and false ideas?
It's highly unlikely. I don't think so. I mean, it's on the heels of a few months ago tweeting about secret societies in
Alex
America,
Jones.
which, is obviously being perpetuated and is being amplified in the U.S. and on social media accounts. I mean, it started as sort of humorous, innocuous stuff way back when we flat earthed it. That was that was sort of the beginning of it.
Definitely.
And then these little bits come out, and now it's getting far more dangerous. So should something be done? Apparently, he's going to meet with Josiah and talk about it. But no, it's unfortunate. I mean, it rings sort of like what happened with Steven Jackson last year. Because I say that because it's sort of. The unfortunate part is Kyrie does speak up for Native American issues, and sort of Steven Jackson was speaking up for the Black Lives Matter movement at the same time, and then all of a sudden come these anti-Semitic tropes that literally get people killed. I mean, it was happening this weekend. There was a message projected on the Florida Gators Georgia Bulldogs game on the outside of the arena that Kanye West was right about the Jews. I mean, it's being amplified and perpetuated, and this stuff just has to be squashed, and that's why these attacks were at the highest in 2021 because of stuff like this. So it is on him.
Yeah,
he just has to understand, as you said, Trey. He has to understand his platform, and he can't just pick and choose and say, my message was good. I was Googling something, I liked it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, you're gonna post this, crazy, but then when you're asked about it, you can't refuse to explain why you're doing it.
Exactly.
And also, you're promoting it. That's like, this is the part, like now, like the conversation about this whole press conference was like, oh my God, Nick Friedel pushing really hard on this. Like, he's asking, he's like, you promoted it. And he's saying, no, I didn't. I just put a link up. Come on. That's what you're doing. Anytime I tweet, you tweet, whatever, no matter your audience, especially when you have an audience of millions, but no matter your audience, you are promoting. The definition of the word, whatever it is you're directing people towards.
Yeah.
So I just can't believe then the conversation was like, oh my God, about how could Nick Friedel, a reporter, actually ask him to explain himself of what
Kyrie and Kanye, to me, both want to speak and have people listen and not have it go the other way. And so no surprise that Kyrie was getting more upset with the phraseology of the question than actually what was being discussed. They're giving him a chance to apologize. Every single interview like that is giving somebody a chance to apologize, and Kyrie's not going to do it. No? So what does that tell you about him?
Yeah, I think Bruce Arthur said this in the Toronto Star, that the blowback convinces the contrarian mind of how right he must be. And that, Kyrie spot on, Kanye spot on, and it's crazy. Let's keep going. Loser of the weekend. Back to the basketball floor.
There we go.
What do you got?
Well, the Lakers, the Nets, and the Sixers are providing cover for a lot of teams, I feel like, and one of them, no doubt, is the LA Clippers, who are really struggling. They've got 4 straight losses after losing to the Pelicans by 30 yesterday. In related news, possibly 4 straight games without Kawhi Leonard. Looks like he's going to be out again tonight. No real clue when he's going to be coming back. We knew there would be some management of his knee injury, certainly coming into the season, but I don't think anybody expected him to play a handful of minutes off the bench in 2 games and then be out for another week. So weird stuff for the Clippers in that department. On the court, the people who are playing are struggling. 29th in offense. They're leading the league in turnovers. They're forcing the fewest turnovers. So you're getting 6 or 7 extra shots, basically, if you're the other team. And they're 29th in made threes. That's kind of like the Clippers' ID, or identification. What am I trying to say? Identity right there. They make threes. They force turnovers because they're playing small and fast. It ain't happening so far, so I'm looking sideways at Paul George right now. He's at 19 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 38 from the field, and 26 from 3. He came into the season saying he's number 2 for the Clippers, but if Kawhi's going to be missing this much time, we need to see Paul George knocking on the door of the MVP table kind of thing, performances from him. So disappointing all around from the Clippers. Their offense is just drive and kick for the most part, so I'm not totally surprised if they don't have their main drive and kick guys, that they're not doing well. But I thought the Clippers would be a little bit better than this to start the season, and they are not.
Yeah, it's something we do in the first couple weeks of the season, Tass, is are we pressing the panic button when it comes to a particular team's rough start? Are you doing it with the Clippers here?
I'm not just hovering over the panic button. I'm gently pressing it.
Touching it?
Yeah.
Caressing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't bang on it quite yet because Kawhi hasn't played a lot. But at the same time, you want to press it because Kawhi hasn't played a lot. The fact that his knee management is already an issue to start this season, and yeah, you can just say, of course, they're just being somewhat careful here. But he's been out for a long time prior to this season. He has played in only 2 of the 6 games to start, and it's going to be 2 of 7 after tonight. So Paul George needs his number 1, and he is, I think, trying to take it slow into the season. I think that's what Paul George is doing. He's just trying to get to the playoffs. And I know, Skeets, you were saying that you didn't really believe in this team. All the pundits, putting a lot of praise on the Clippers before the season, thinking that, the roster on paper makes sense, but they need their lead guys to be playing like lead guys. And I think Paul George has another level. He can play better, but I don't know if he wants to right now.
Yeah, I was tricked by the Brooklyn Nets in believing in them. I wasn't being tricked by the Los Angeles Clippers in the Western Conference. A big part of it, of course, is these guys just never play. And yeah, it's bad. I couldn't believe the 17.5 turnovers per game. That is a hell of a lot of turnovers from a team that when you don't have your guys, everybody's got to contribute. You can't beat yourself, and that's what they're doing here. But yeah, 2 and 4. I mean, we're gonna always have to go back to what the Celtics did last year. All season long, whoever starts poorly, we're gonna have to go. But Boston, they turned it around. But Boston, so
Boston.
It's not over. But it's also a loaded Western Conference, and at a certain point, you're going to get too far behind, where you're going to hurt your chances of seeding, being on the road, going through the juggernauts, and making it very, very difficult to then go to a finals. And that's that's what they want here. It's not win a first round.
Oh yeah,
it's a disappointment at this point. It's really to be a finalist if not win the title. So, man, they're not making it easy with this pretty piss poor start here.
I'm a little worried. Maybe the 2010s are just over. Finally, LeBron at the bottom of the standings, Clippers at the bottom of the standings, Kevin Durant at the bottom of the standings with the Nets. All the best players from the 2010s are on bad teams, and all the best players from the 2020s are on the best teams. Yeah. We're old, guys. It's happening in the NFL as well. Tom Brady sucks. Aaron Rodgers sucks. Russell Wilson sucks.
Jesus.
Guess this is growing up.
That's my Halloween costume. Old guy.
Old, dilapidated muscles.
And that's the difference between the Boston Celtics of last year and the Clippers of this year. Their best players are old. The Celtics were not.
Yeah.
I know the Celtics are a kind of a veteran team this year with Brogdon and Horford, and they've got some older guys. I think they're 7th oldest team, while the Clippers are the 4th oldest team, and their lead guys just haven't played enough. The scary part is Kawhi. It all comes down to Kawhi. If he's injured, then this team, the ceiling is, whatever it is.
Also wanted to bring up this game because Zion Williamson came back.
Oh, yeah, he did.
That's exciting. 21 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. Love the 7 assists because my man was setting the table. Looked like he hadn't missed a day, and he probably would have finished with a triple-double if he actually got to play at the end of the game instead of the massive blowout that the Pelicans pulled off.
Do we know if the Pelicans play on Christmas? Because I have an idea that the NBA... Oh, they don't this year. Okay, I just checked. Because I was going to say, and I've said this before, if they did, even if they don't, just do it whenever, NBA. Rig the net. Have it break. Let Zion bring it down. Shaq style. I'm serious. Somebody get in there, tinker with a bolt. Did you see a couple of those dunks? He had the thing rocking.
Yeah.
Like they're too strong, these nets now. You can't really bring them down. I don't even think Shaq could. But put an old one in there, or like loosen something. Bring it down. People go nuts. People go nuts. It'd be awesome on Christmas. I was thinking, man, you're gonna have to counter the NFL this year. You get Zion bringing down the net. People are gonna be flipping over. What the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Just an idea.
That's a very good idea.
That's a good idea.
I just want to see somebody bring it down. It should be him.
I haven't looked at the Christmas Day schedule recently.
I know.
I'm guessing it looks way worse now that the season has started.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I was trying to go through it yesterday, and I totally forgot. I didn't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Zion could bring it. Could bring it back, but they didn't trust enough for Zion to be healthy enough.
I know.
To put him on
That's
the roster.
right.
So what do we got here, Trey?
76ers Knicks.
Yeah, okay.
Still good.
Yeah,
still a good
good.
matchup, I think. Lakers Mavericks.
Okay. Well,
That one's going to come down to a Luka Doncic game winner.
Okay.
Will he make it or will he miss it? He's
Okay.
missed every single one so far this season, but let's keep tracking that. Bucks Celtics, classic. Grizzlies Warriors.
Okay.
Could be a blowout
Good
for the
one.
Grizzlies at this point. And Suns Nuggets.
a classic
night.
late game.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, it's not brutal though. It's
It's not brutal.
holding
It's not
up.
brutal.
It's holding up.
We got no nets. We got no nets. So that's good.
Yeah, and no Pelicans. I think you've got a great idea with the
Yeah, you like that
backboard.
idea?
Oh, it's a great idea because I was watching the Clippers Pelicans game yesterday with Danielle, and I said that man is huge, pointing out Zion Williamson. I mean, he's the 9th wonder of the world in terms of a basketball body. 6'6", 280, 290, whatever he is. It's lower than 290 because his contract says it has to be. And she said, no, it's not. No, he's not that big. He's not that big. I said, he's not tall. He's not 7 foot. She said, yeah, Shaq's way bigger. I said, but he's wider, Danielle. Do you see
Can you
it?
fire up some old Charles Barkley clips for her? Show that to Danielle.
I don't think
man.
she'll care.
Guy's like 6'4",
Yeah.
Zion size, leading
Yeah.
fast breaks and dunking over guys.
Anyways, just break a backboard, and I think Danielle will appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's those backboards, too, they won't shatter.
Well, no, but nor did Shaq's. I mean, he brought them down.
He brought it-
First
oh,
one,
so
he just
physically
straight up brought down. Second one, people think it was rigged.
Yeah.
the hydraulics. Remember?
Very calmly set.
But I
down
want
on
the
ground.
first one. I want the one to collapse on Zion.
Yeah.
I hope, and he doesn't get injured. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Maybe I should think this through.
Yeah. No, I think you could. See, I was thinking shattering. And I thought he'd dunk it, everyone would get out of the way, and then you'd somehow break it so there'd be no glass on everybody. But then it'd take forever to clean up.
Yeah.
And then people would complain about
Didn't
that.
didn't Darvin Ham
Darvin
shatter
Ham
a
broke a
backboard in college?
Yeah.
Okay. Loser of the weekend. I want to give loser of the weekend to the collective bargaining negotiations,
There
which
we
have
go.
already started. Here's why.
There we go.
Okay, so Friday night, Woj reports that the NBA is pursuing the implementation of an upper spending limit in its negotiations on the new CBA with the Players Association.
Tell me what that means.
Okay. Well, first off, surprise, Woj also says this change has been met with significant union resistance. Yeah. and this is why I'm calling it a loser, because this is a non-starter in discussion. So this is what you do when you start negotiating. When we have to negotiate with the Athletic coming up, we'll ask for $10 million to start with, you know? You start crazy high, and they say, we're not doing that. And, oh, okay. And then you get to negotiating. But this, I'll explain it for you, Tass. It's basically in the wake of, like, these large market contenders, your Warriors, your Nets, your Clippers, running up these massive payrolls, running up these massive luxury tax penalties, and that the NBA is proposing a system that would replace the luxury tax with a hard limit that you could not exceed pay salary.
NFL style.
I'm not a
Yeah, they have a
NFL fan.
hard
Okay,
cap.
there you
Hard
go.
cap.
They have a hard cap.
Hard cap. Of course, a union, a players association would be against this because then it's like, what do you mean? You're limiting what we can make in theory. So that's why this is not even going to be a discussion. But you know, it gets all the headlines and people are going to start talking about it. But it's just, I say it's a loser because it's just like, it's almost a slick move by the NBA. They throw this out there, and then what does this mean? They're actually going to be really trying to get in the upcoming collective bargaining agreement. So, yeah, we're not going to see this. Okay,
You don't
It's
think
not,
so?
No.
The NBA already makes more money
Not a
from
chance.
basketball than the players do.
You think there's going to be a hard limit? You think the union fighting for all
probably
this?
not.
No
Probably
way.
not on this CBA, but obviously that's what they want, and that's what they're going to be going for long term. NFL
maybe.
does have a hard cap.
They make more
Not a
money
bad
than the NBA.
They make more money than the NBA. They're a bigger league than the NBA, and they have more parity.
Yeah, and
Maybe not a
their union sucks.
But their league is great. Well, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. If you want basketball to be the biggest sport in the world, maybe you should copy the NFL a little bit. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen either. But to me, this is a bad omen for CBA negotiations. If they're asking for something that is this big of a deal, there's going to be a fight on their hands.
Oh, I mean, people are trying to pretend there won't be. We've been saying this for a while. You can go back and listen to the podcast. This is going. Look, I don't want to be all gloom and dread here. Maybe it's because it's Halloween. Okay, but yeah, this is not going to go well. I 100% agree with you, Trey. Like there's going to be a lot of fighting over this collective bargaining agreement, and they're trying to work in an agreement before the December 15th deadline that each side has to give notice to opt out of the current one. But it expires after 2023-24. This 7-year deal. I think we're unfortunately headed towards whatever, another sort of lockout potential. We'll see.
Definitely possible.
Yeah. Okay. Final one here, Trey. What do you got?
3 options for worst loss of the weekend.
Hit me.
Saturday, the Mavs lose to the Thunder. Tass mentioned it.
Yeah.
The Mavs had a 16-point lead with 4 minutes and 14 seconds left. Tim McMahon of ESPN had the stat that NBA teams were 9,975-1 when leading by 16 or more points in the final 4 minutes.
Holy crap.
Now 9,975-2. Doncic missed the game winner in that game, lost in overtime. Another candidate for worst loss of the weekend. Sunday, the Nuggets lose to the Lakers. They lost to the Lakers, and they gave up 121 points. That's a lot of points to give up to the Lakers team.
Yep.
Their first win, 5 Nuggets scored in double digits, but did not matter. A near triple-double for Westbrook. Crazy.
Yeah.
And then 2 bad Warriors losses. They were beat handily by the Pistons yesterday, gave up a ton of points, 128 to the Pistons. But I'm more concerned with the OT loss Saturday to the Hornets. No starting backcourt for the Hornets. And this one makes the cut for me because it eliminated me from our Run Your Pools game.
Oh, no.
I thought Warriors versus Hornets. This is an easy one. No LaMelo. No Terry. No Trey anymore.
Wow.
Week 2. I mean, this says week 2. It's really week 1.
Yeah,
And I'm done.
Yeah, well, I checked the pool this morning.
Good game.
I think you're alive, Tass, and
Yeah,
I'm alive,
yeah.
but almost half the people are already done, so you're not alone, Trey. Now, some
Probably a lot of
forgot
Warriors
to make a
pickers,
pick.
yeah.
I think 200 plus people forgot to make a pick, so that's on them. But yeah, we already cut this pool in half, just like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good for us.
But yeah.
So which one do you go with?
When the pool started, I thought, oh, this is gonna be pretty easy.
It's-
You're not picking point spreads. You're just literally picking the winner of the basketball
you never
game.
Know,
You never know. The National Basketball Association. Some of the easiest games.
Well, who did you pick
on the
in
schedule.
the last week?
I picked the Wolves to beat the Spurs.
So did I. The first game. Yeah.
Second game, right? Spurs.
Well,
yes,
the
Spurs got him the
first game.
first.
Yes.
and
You're right.
It was the second game.
Yeah.
Nice pick.
Hey, man.
Great pick. But
Sorry,
yeah,
muscle man.
Yeah, what can I say?
JD, you still in it?
Am I still in the Survivor pool? Yeah, man. I'm like number 30.
No, not that actual Survivor pool, not the reality show. You didn't make a pick in our NBA Survivor pool?
I forgot to even join the thing, guys. My
join
bad.
it.
My
I
bad.
saw you.
Join it!
Wait, I can still join, right?
No, you can't.
Ah.
You're done.
No, not week 3. Anyways, I saw you rigging up your mic there. I thought you were getting ready to
I
talk
got an ad
about...
read coming.
Oh, you got an ad read coming. I thought you were ready to talk about the basketball pool. But I do agree with Trey. The Hornets one was worse because of the way the Warriors looked at the end of this game. It was un-Warrior-like at the end of regulation. Steph tried to hit a real hero ball shot. Maybe because he was back home in Charlotte.
Yep.
He said it post-game. But they didn't look crisp. They didn't know what they were sort of running at the end of the fourth quarter. And that's un-Warriors-like. They just weren't on the right spots on the floor. You could see they're hesitating with their passes. This didn't happen at the beginning of last year when they rolled to an NBA championship. They were cooking for a long stretch to start the season. So there's something going on there with the Warriors. Opening night, they roll. We think, oh, they're back. But, they lost to Phoenix when I think they looked on the other side of the floor and they saw a Phoenix team that was, playing really, really well. And maybe they thought to themselves, oh, we're not as good as the Phoenix Suns right now. And then they lose to the Hornets, where they weren't themselves. And then the Pistons game, that was they just got run off the floor really against the Pistons.
That was a tough pick, taking the Warriors in Charlotte. They never win there. I just did some fact checking here, and at least the last 4 seasons they've lost that game when Curry makes his return there in Charlotte.
You're saying I should have done some research.
You should have done some research.
Yeah. Blew it.
But
That's all right. The second game I was considering was Warriors at Pistons.
Oh, okay.
So if I would have actually done research, I'd be like, oh, they always lose to the Hornets. Pistons it is. Okay. They lost by more.
Hey, let us know in the stream team, are you still alive? Or if you're out, which team did you in? Was it the Warriors in one of those games? Was it somebody else? Let us know. We got to take one more break when we come back, pick 'em results from Friday night, and tweet of the night.
So it was Hoko this past weekend.
Hoko.
At Lincoln School. That's what the kids are calling homecoming these days.
Oh, my God.
Hoko. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Hoko. I don't know.
It's
Hoko.
okay. It's fine.
It's fine. That's how he Lincoln posted pictures from it, and he used the tag Hoko. It's like, all right, Hoko. Anyways, it was time for me to step up and be a dad for once and buy my son a suit.
Woo!
So normally I don't mind performing my fatherly duties, but suits, definitely not my thing. Way out of my comfort zone. I have to Google how to tie a tie every time I tie a tie. Anyways, I was immediately overwhelmed, kind of freaking out, so I started Googling best places to buy a suit in Atlanta, and then I realized in my panic, we're probably going to have to leave the house. But then it hit me. Indochino.com, baby.
Yeah.
That's how stressed I was about this. I forgot about one of the OGs of ad partners for us. So I just tossed link in my iPad and said, go to Indochino.com and buy yourself a suit. Boom. My work is done here. Dad achievement unlocked. All I really had to do was break out the measuring tape and jot down his stats. The rest was up to Lincoln. And he had some decisions to make. Color, favorite fabric, favorite style, how do you want those lapels, vest or no vest, make it a tux? Oh, you know he clicked that box. And luckily, he knew what he wanted going in, a black suit, burgundy shirt, and no tie, yes. He could have got it monogrammed, but decided against it because, frankly, that suit's going to be Jack's in about 6 months, let's be honest.
All right, pass me down.
Yeah, exactly. The kid's 6'2", he's still growing, and it does not care about basketball. It's very, very sad. But for now, the suit looks fantastic on Lincoln. There's really nothing like having a tailored suit. So design your perfect suit with Indochino and get $50 off any purchase of $3.99 or more. You bet your ass we use that promo code NODUNKS. That's promo code NODUNKS at Indochino.com. Indochino.com. Promo code NODUNKS.
And the suit looked sharp.
Very sharp.
Saw the photos, both
Yep.
from you and your wife, blasting some grams, and thought he looked really good.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. He looked great next to his date, who had sort of some like burgundy in her dress. And
They planned that, eh?
I think it was planned.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little pocket square too.
I loved I guess the set of photos where he is dipping her, his date, and
Yes.
then she is dipping him,
Yes.
a 6'2" giant. Very funny.
He was literally holding himself up using his abs or whatever else he used for that. I could never do that, but yeah.
Great.
Oh, to be young and in shape.
Good stuff. Yeah, we're just old farts now. Picking results from
Except for
Friday
muscle,
night.
man.
Well, yeah, this guy
He's
looks
ripped.
jacked. Yeah. Jesus. Look at the abs. Holy, you got like.
I was working out hard. Summer 2021. Fighting lean, I said to Laura, Just one of those guys who'll never have abs. Yeah. Look at me now.
Hey, let me ask you. You straight nude under that?
No. I'm wired up, dog.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know how warm or cold this was gonna be, and honestly, I'll say this is unisex. There are no identifying characteristics in the groinal region.
It's not Sax underwear?
No. Well, promo code NoDugs, I am wearing a pair of Sax.
Oh, wow.
I'm parked in the pouch.
Nice.
But I was hoping to keep it a little tame.
I love the gloves part of it.
There's a couple of Photoshops from our man. Attack on Titan.
That looks cool.
Oh my god, it looks so creepy with the face.
Yeah,
on
the
it.
face looks pretty good when it's on the right way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Will it be too weird to cut out the eyes?
Just so you can see
So I can
better?
actually see.
I mean, it'd probably be a lot safer walking around. It's sort of foggy out here in Atlanta today,
That's a good
too.
point.
It's a nice spooky night for Halloween, but yeah, that looks amazing. Here we go. Trey Kerby, the Spirit Halloween meme. It's a lot of beef, 100% beef. This is Jerome. Jerome's killing it.
That's
man.
too good.
Hey, winner of the
that's
weekend to
funny.
Jerome, man.
Yeah, winner of the weekend to him.
Yeah, always. Okay, pick 'em results. That's why we're hearing the music. Friday night's game, Knicks in Milwaukee. Bucks were only favored by 6.5, and they took care of business. They got it done. Victory for Trey and I. We improved to 4-5. Taz took the Knicks to cover, so that loss puts you to 6-3.
Yeah.
So we're pretty close
We
here.
are.
Although, well, are we resetting in November? Because this is the final night, so you've already won.
I don't know.
Well, okay. Well, congratulations. You won.
Okay. I guess
Yeah,
I
you
won.
won. I think
you won.
I think we reset it.
It used to be a short month in October.
Yeah.
Now we got like 2 weeks of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
That's true.
pretty long.
Yeah, we're 10 games here after tonight. So what's tonight's game? Let's finish it off. in
Let's
style here.
finish it off here. We got a Raps-Hawks game in Toronto, but we're going to skip that one. We also have Memphis-Utah. I think that's going to be a fun one. We'll skip that one, though, because I saw Indy and Brooklyn on the schedule, and I thought it was a tough game, considering what happened on Saturday where the Pacers took care of Brooklyn. The Nets are 8.5-point favorites. That's a big line, so that's why you guys jumped on the Pacers. Just got to lose by 8 or less. How the heck do you have faith in this Brooklyn team? I don't know. I don't know, but I took them because you guys took the Pacers, and we've got this rule in house. We can't all take the same team.
Well, you did something very kind this morning, I saw. You picked the game, you put it in the dock, but you did not make your
Super kind.
selection. That was very nice of you.
Yeah, I waited. I also picked the Knicks on Friday. That was kind of me. I was gonna lose. I knew I was gonna lose.
Oh,
that
you
one.
knew you were going to lose? Oh,
I picked the Knicks.
Convenient.
But anyways, I don't mind finishing with 2 straight losses because I'm winning, I guess.
Yeah, you got to win.
So I don't know with this Brooklyn Nets team. They could win. I'm betting more on the Pacers not being great again.
Yeah,
Because they're the Pacers.
we'll see. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Tweet of the night. More so tweet of the weekend, if I'm being quite honest, because the footage comes from Cavs Celtics Friday night when at Sportsboy Tony noticed that Luke Kornet invented a new way of defending the rim. There's a guy taking a corner three, I think it's a Coro, and Luke Kornet is jumping in the lane and putting his hands up, 10 feet high or something like that, trying to take Okoro's eyes off what he's shooting at. The Athletics' Jay King followed up with Kornet after the game, and he said Luke Kornet said that he's been told this jumping style works, said if the numbers start to show otherwise, he'll adjust, but players have told him this makes an impact. Kornet said, we're visually dependent people, so yeah.
Okay.
You buy up? Does this work?
Well, okay, even if that is true, the issue I see as the 7-footer on the team is now you are, and you saw it in the second clip, you are in no position to go get a rebound. So I guess on one hand, yeah, good for you, the guy missed the shot, but what about getting the ball back? So
turns his back
I
on
don't
the
know.
tallest guy on the court to rebound.
I don't know. I guess
is
that
funny.
second shot went over the rim, right? So there was no rebound to be had, but wild. I mean, it's almost. Do you remember Jose Calderon and his clap defense? He used to be a big 30 feet away from the guy. Jose was always clapping. I don't think it ever worked. You see it in the odd pickup run. Every once in a while somebody just does a clap or a yell.
Yeah, a clap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love brownies.
Oh yeah, brownies.
This is pretty similar.
Show the nips. Be tough in that. Yeah.
No nips.
Do that.
You think this works?
Yeah.
Luke Kornet sitting post game. Yeah, I've been told it works. We'll have to check the numbers, but we're visually dependent people, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Doesn't say.
Shot.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about Luke here? What a move!
No, I
next
think- I
level,
think-
galaxy brain thinking.
I think Trey's muscle costume is way more effective than Luke Kornet. It's one of those things you see on Twitter and you see it happen the first time. You're like, okay, yeah, that really works. He blocked his line of sight. Then you look at it. There's no way he blocks the guy's line of
We
sight.
gotta hear from Akora. Yeah. Did you notice him?
Yeah, no, I'm not buying it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
We got one more. Can I piggyback off that tweet? Do you mind, Muscle Man?
Go for it.
Okay.
I need to
You can't-
unzip to see what the tweet is real quick.
Okay, let me tell you.
Muscle Man can piggyback anyone.
At JD, did you go sound up on it? Yeah. Okay. Well, Molly Morrison tweeted, "Absolutely obsessed with Grant Williams showing up to tonight's game wearing a Halloween costume, playing the game, and then putting the costume back on after so he could do his entire post-game presser in character." And here's a small clip.
He does a phenomenal job. Make sure that the entire team is locked in. And for us, in order for us to be special, we have to stay locked in at all hours. Night in and night out.
Defensively, what was different?
The best part about this team is that we take care of each other. Defensively, that's all we can accomplish. What the fuck are you doing?
So that's Tatum coming in the background asking what the hell Grant Williams is doing. And for those just listening, I don't know if you could tell. Did you know that was a Batman impersonation? Just listening.
It was all right.
It was all right. I'm just wondering if you only could hear it. Would you know he was dressed as Batman?
Yeah,
maybe.
Tough one.
Maybe.
JD's got an opinion.
He needs more rage.
More rage?
More rage, yeah, I think.
Too nice.
He's very whispery. You never hear Batman, say that. We gotta defend.
That's good, JD.
Gotta be there for you, guy. Where's the basketball?
So the Celtics coming through with tweets of the night / weekend. You'd love to see it.
I just love how the narrative wasn't, Grant Williams such a loser for dressing up, because the Twitter narrative could have gone that way. I was wondering, is it going to be a love-hate thing?
Well, it's his nickname,
liked it.
right? Isn't that?
Yeah, he does call himself Batman.
He calls himself Batman.
I didn't want to know that.
He does. I'm pretty sure he does. It's not on Basketball Reference. It's just the general.
He does it all in character, though, which is the cool part.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's call it there. Guys, thank you so much for joining us live here. Fun Monday podcast. Let's hear your winners and losers of the NBA weekend. We're back tomorrow, live at 10 a.m. Eastern, here in the Classic Factory. Everybody have a safe and happy Halloween tonight. Hope you get all the candy in the world. Are you going to bring in any for me here?
You want some? Oh, yeah.
I would
I'll
like
give
some.
you some.
I
got bags.
Yeah? Lots?
Yeah, we did good.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't getting anybody tonight, so we've got chips and all sort of thousands of pieces of candy.
You're on a dead end street on a
end.
hill.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody wasting their time.
We had
coming down
3 people knock on the door last year. One of them was a bunch of kids in a pickup truck. That was the only people coming down here in vehicles.
Oh, that's next level. Just back the pickup truck up.
Pretty
a bunch
much.
of candy in the back.
Pretty much.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy that no one would come. Just like you say you're in a bad spot. What better thing do kids have to do? I mean, they go to every house.
Yeah, that's a good point. Go out of the way.
You gotta optimize a little bit, though.
Oh my God, they're children. I was with children and we went everywhere. We were like,
Your daughter, she loves Halloween. She was made for it.
we went to a house that was giving out the full chocolate bars.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh, rich
Big
neighborhood.
time, big time.
We were with that was the only one in the neighborhood. I was a little surprised. We were with another child who double dipped, took 2 full chocolate bars. My kid did not do that. It was just a bowl with full size chocolate bars. Kid took a Hershey's and a Twix. My daughter wouldn't do that.
Wow.
She took a 2-cupper of the Reese's Pieces, and she said, "Remember, Dad, we went to that basketball game. We shared this Reese's Pieces." I said, "Yeah, we went to that WNBA game and we shared it." We hugged, and I said, "Don't be like that kid." He took 2 full bars.
Are there any coffee crisps floating around down here in the States, or just a Canadian thing?
Never seen one.
God, I love that.
Sometimes Publix has them.
Really?
But, yeah.
All right. Well, hey, tweet at us if you get a coffee crisp tonight, either in Canada or here in the States. At No Dunks Inc. INCNN, or hey, just personally tweet at me at J.
Buford has them all the time.
Oh,
Gotta
wow.
go to
Wow.
Buford.
All right, guys. Have a safe and happy Halloween. We'll see you tomorrow. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And something I didn't do is remember, because actually over the weekend I thought to myself, I got a good line for Monday's show at the end. I should write it down. Didn't write it down. And I thought I'd remember it, but I don't. So, Trey, you got any wise words, considering you're in a costume? I'm just throwing you under the...
Yeah. Costumes make you smarter. That's
Thinking man here.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, the brain is the strongest muscle.
Brace the day, people.
If I look at the right camera.
Don't worry, we can edit that.